What if everything you believe about yourself is a lie? Not a little misunderstanding, but a complete, well-packaged illusion sold to you since birth. You were told you're a body, a personality, a citizen, a name on a document. But what if you're none of those things? What if you're not even human? Sounds crazy, right? But stay with me, because this might be the most important thing you ever hear. The reason you're stuck, anxious, unfulfilled, it isn't because life's hard. It's because you're living from an identity that was never yours. You've been trying to awaken inside a dream without realizing you're the one dreaming it. This isn't about religion, belief systems, or wishful thinking. It's about direct experience, the kind that shatters the illusion and puts you face to face with your real nature. And the truth is, when you stop trying to become something, you finally remember what you are. You're not here to improve the character. You're here to realize you were never the character in the first place. And once that hits, your entire reality starts to bend. 1. The human costume you forgot you're wearing. Every morning, people wake up and put on their self like it's a pair of jeans. Name, role, status, beliefs, all zipped up before they even finish their coffee. But that identity, it's not real. It's a costume, carefully stitched together by habit, memory, and other people's opinions. The real self doesn't need validation or titles. It just watches quietly while the character takes the stage again. It's funny how nobody questions the script they follow daily. Pay bills, answer emails, smile politely, and pretend to be someone. But deep down, there's a knowing, a subtle sense that this isn't who they truly are. Ever had a moment where time stood still and something inside whispered, "There's more"? That's the divine being underneath, trying to be remembered. That moment, it's your wake-up call. Imagine walking into a theater and forgetting you're the audience, not the actor. That's how deeply lost human consciousness can get. We buy into the costume so much, we start defending it. I am this body. I am this personality. But who was watching all of that unfold when you were a child? Or during a dream? That silent presence didn't change. That's your real identity. To practice this, try sitting in silence for 10 minutes. No music, no distractions, just watching your thoughts. Notice how they move like clouds, and then ask yourself, who is watching these thoughts? That small shift in awareness cracks open something big, because once you stop identifying with the role, you start waking up to the truth. You're not the costume. You're the one wearing it, watching it, laughing at it sometimes, and waiting patiently to be remembered. 2. You were conditioned to believe you're just a body. From the moment you're born, the programming begins. What's his name? He looks like his father. She's going to be a doctor one day. Labels, roles, expectations, they pile on so fast, you never get a chance to ask, who was I before all this? Society trains you to see yourself as just a physical form with a title and a job, like you're some kind of character in a rigid play. But here's the thing, bodies age, names change, careers shift, so if all those things define who you are, then who are you when they're gone? That's the trap. Human consciousness has been hijacked by the belief that your value is tied to what you do or how you look. It's like mistaking the car for the driver. Sure, you need the vehicle, but you're not the damn car. Think of it like this. If someone calls you by the wrong name, does your soul panic? Of course not. Because deep down, the divine being within you isn't moved by labels. It's only the ego that clings to titles. And the more it clings, the more it suffers. Try this. Next time you introduce yourself, silently remind yourself, this is my character, not my truth. It sounds small, but that shift is huge. This simple reminder, repeated daily, starts loosening the chains. Slowly, you stop being so obsessed with the mirror, the scale, the bank balance. You stop mistaking the wrapping paper for the gift. And when that happens, something powerful begins to stir inside. The memory that you've always been more than flesh and form. That remembrance leads to a door you forgot existed. 3. The forgotten observer behind every thought. Most people live like they're trapped inside their own head, wrestling with every thought as if it's the gospel truth. But what if you're not the one having the thoughts, but the one watching them? That's the game changer. Behind every worry, plan, or memory, there's a silent observer, untouched, unmoved, just aware. That observer? That's the divine being most people have forgotten. You've probably noticed it before, even if you didn't have a name for it. Like when you're deep in thought and suddenly realize, wait, I've been daydreaming. Who noticed the daydream? That's the observer. It's always there, watching everything without judgment. Human consciousness isn't just made of thoughts, it's the space between them. That space is your home. Try this. Sit quietly and let your thoughts wander like kids in a playground. Don't fight them. Just watch. You'll start to see there's a part of you that doesn't change, no matter what your mind throws at you. That part doesn't panic, doesn't obsess. It's still, like the sky behind the weather. When you recognize this, life gets lighter. You're no longer stuck in the storm. This recognition isn't just spiritual poetry, it's practical freedom. You stop reacting to every passing emotion. You stop being dragged by every mental loop. The moment you realize you're the one behind the noise, not the noise itself, you gain a kind of power that can't be explained, only experienced. And from that stillness, something even deeper begins to rise. 4. The body-mind identity is a program. The thoughts you think aren't always yours. Most of them were installed before you had a choice. Patterns from your parents, beliefs from school, fears absorbed from the news, layer after layer of programming buried inside the mind. And the wild part, you defend this code like it's your personality, but it's not. It's just recycled data running on autopilot. Ever notice how you react the same way to similar situations? Same argument, same emotion, same story. That's not coincidence, that's code. And once you start to see it, you can't unsee it. The divine being in you begins to wake up, not by effort, but by awareness. When you observe the script instead of playing it, something cracks open. The system starts to lose its grip. A practical example, the next time you feel triggered, pause. Don't analyze. Just notice the emotion and ask, is this really mine, or was this downloaded from somewhere else? You'd be shocked how often you're running programs that don't even belong to you. This question alone can start rewriting everything. Because awareness is the delete button for unconscious pattern. The beauty of this realization is that you don't need to fight the mind. You just need to see it clearly. Once the lights are on, the illusions can't hide. That's when your spiritual awakening truly begins. Not by escaping the world, but by waking up inside the matrix and realizing you were never the program. You were the one watching the whole show. 5. You are the consciousness. Experiencing the human. You're not stuck inside the body like a passenger in a cramped car. You're the consciousness watching the dashboard light up, feeling the emotions surge, hearing the inner chatter. The body, just your temporary vehicle. The mind, just the interface. And you're the one behind the wheel, but most people forgot they were even driving. Think about dreams. Your body's asleep, yet you still experience. That's because you're not the body. That same presence watching your dreams is the same one reading these words. Human consciousness isn't bound to form. It just visits it for a while, like logging into a character in a game, forgetting you're not actually the character. And here's the catch. Most never log out. Try this. Throughout the day, stop and ask yourself, who's aware of what I'm feeling right now? It's a simple trick, but it snaps you back to that deeper presence. When you're angry, you're not the anger. You're the one noticing it. That subtle awareness, that's the divine being playing human for a while, just long enough to remember who it really is. When you tap into this, life doesn't lose meaning. It gains depth. You still play the game, but now with a sense of playfulness. Pain becomes a signal, not a sentence. Emotions become messengers, not enemies. And just like that, you stop taking the character so seriously because you've started remembering the one holding the controller. 6. The myth of the separate self. The biggest illusion sold to human consciousness is the idea of separation, that you're just one person, walking around in your own little world, cut off from everyone and everything else. But that's just the ego's favorite trick. It survives by convincing you that you're alone, unique, and somehow disconnected from the source of life. In truth, you're a wave forgetting it's part of the ocean. That feeling of loneliness, that deep sense that something's missing. It's not because you lack something. It's because you've been taught to ignore your connection to everything. Look closer. Have you ever felt someone's energy without a word being spoken? That's not imagination. That's the divine being within recognizing itself in another. Awareness doesn't have borders. Try this the next time you're in a crowd. Instead of thinking, these are strangers, tell yourself, these are reflections. Notice how your energy shifts. You soften. You become more present. That's the power of remembering. There's only one consciousness wearing different faces. The mind may say, me versus them, but the soul whispers, it's all me, just showing up in different forms. Once that hits, something starts to fall apart, and it's not you. It's the story of separation, the myth of the isolated self. And what grows in its place is far more powerful: connection, presence, compassion, and a quiet kind of joy that doesn't depend on anything. Because now, you're not searching for unity. You're remembering it was never lost, and that realization opens the dream even wider. 7. You are the dreamer, not the dream. Most people live like extras in a movie they didn't audition for, repeating lines they didn't write, reacting to scenes they didn't plan. But what if they're not the character at all? What if they're the one dreaming the whole thing? The truth is, life isn't something that happens to you. It happens through you. And the moment you realize that, the script stops being so rigid. Ever had a dream where you realized you were dreaming and suddenly you could fly? That's exactly what starts to happen in waking life when you shift from identifying with the story to remembering you're the storyteller. Human consciousness was never meant to be stuck in the narrative. It was meant to shape it, bend it, stretch it into something meaningful. That's where the real power kicks in. Try this when something bad happens. Instead of asking, why me? Ask, why did I create this scene in my dream? It sounds crazy, but it shifts your role from victim to creator. Suddenly, life isn't happening against you, it's happening for your awakening. The divine being in you is always whispering, remember, you're the dreamer. Most just forget to listen. And as that remembrance grows, the world starts to feel different, softer, more surreal. You begin to laugh more, even in tough moments, because you see through the illusion. You see the code. You realize you're here to play, to explore, to shape the dream, not to suffer inside it. And the deeper you go, the more lucid it all becomes. 8. The liberation of remembering you're not human. Here's the wildest truth you'll ever bump into. You don't awaken by upgrading the human. You awaken by stepping outside the illusion that you are the human. Most spiritual seekers are busy polishing the mask, hoping a shinier identity will lead to peace. But the real shift happens when you stop fixing the character and start waking up from the script altogether. It's like being in a burning building and rearranging the furniture. Looks busy, feels productive, but you're still in the fire. Human consciousness has been tricked into improving the avatar instead of realizing, wait, I'm not the avatar at all. Shut! That realization isn't just liberating, it's the doorway. The moment you remember you're not the role starts to lose its grip. Practical example? Stop trying to manifest from a place of lack. Instead of, I want this, shift to, How does the dream change when I remember I'm not just in it, I'm projecting it? That change in posture isn't woo-woo, it's quantum. The divine being in you doesn't need fixing, healing, or upgrading. It only needs to wake up and stop mistaking the mirror for the real thing. And once that starts happening, life gets weird. In the best way. The drama doesn't stop, but your identity shifts. You're not the actor on the stage anymore. You're the one who realized it's all theater, and from that seat in the audience, something deep and ancient starts to move inside you, pulling you toward a new way of being in the dream. 9. Being in the world, but not of it. Once you realize you're not just the human, but the awareness playing the human, life changes, but not in the way most expect. You don't vanish into a cave or start floating on a cloud. You still go to work, still wash dishes, still pay your bills. But now there's clarity. You're not lost in the role anymore. You're playing it with presence, like an actor who knows it's just a movie. It's not about escaping life. It's about engaging with it differently. You show up in conversations with a deeper listening. You move through stress with a quieter mind. Even when things go sideways, there's a part of you that stays untouched. That's the divine being leading the way now. And it's not cold or distant. It's grounded, human, and profoundly aware. Want to try this out? Next time something irritates you, a traffic jam, a rude comment, pause and breathe. Say to yourself, I'm in the world, but not of it. That one phrase brings you back to your real center. You're not denying the experience, you're just not drowning in it. You walk through life like a calm eye in the middle of the storm. This is where the spiritual awakening gets real. Not in theory, but in practice. You still play your roles, parent, friend, co-worker, but now without attachment. You act, but don't cling. You love, but don't grasp. And somewhere deep in the background, there's always that quiet remembrance. This is the game, and I've finally remembered who's playing it. If you want to elevate your vibrations and manifest with more ease, I have prepared something special for you. Click the link in the first pinned comment and join us in the journey of awakening your inner mage.